right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's episode of the Optional Content Show. So, today we are starting off with episode 2 of season 1. So, just a real quick overview of what we're going to do today. We're going to be talking about COVID, and actually a pretty big update on COVID with a new vaccine coming out from Pfizer just this past week, approved by the FDA. Then we're going to be talking about midterms all across School of America. And then we're going to be topping it all off with a semester review. Ha ha ha. I know, I'm hilarious. Anyways, so later after that, I'm going to go ahead and introduce my special guest for tonight, which is Charlie Humphreys. You can, yeah. All right. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and get into our first topic, which is the new COVID vaccine, which was just approved this past week. So it came out by Pfizer and was approved by the FDA very recently, which is a big breakthrough because this means the end of the pandemic is very near. But regardless, it's going to take some time to get everyone vaccinated. But it's still a big progression in the vaccine and in the whole pandemic deal. So it's gonna be a very big deal to finally get this show on the road with the vaccine. So I think that one of the main questions that a lot of Americans today are talking about is whether or not they're actually going to take the vaccine, because there's I believe this was actually one of the fastest vaccines that has ever been developed, and there's a lot of people who are very skeptical about it. So some people are like, yeah, I don't know if I want to take it. It could have some crazy side effects. So the first part of this segment that we're going to jump into is, would you or would you not take the vaccine, and why? Now, for Charlie and I, we're part of the age group that will probably get access to the vaccine early or mid next year. So we'll actually get to see what actually happens with people, when they get the actual vaccine. So we'll get to kind of see what happens when people actually get the vaccine, if they turn into zombies or not. But I highly doubt that'll happen. But you get the idea. So we'll get to see what happens and if it's actually safe before we actually get to get it. So for me, I don't think I'm going to give a definite answer at the moment. But if all goes well and everything looks okay by next spring, then I'll probably take it. Just because I really hate the pandemic, just because it's taken so much from me, and I'm ready to get to the normal life. So Charlie, let's go over to you. What would you do? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yeah. It's gonna be a pretty tough situation. And it looks like it couldn't have come at a better. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So, yeah, it's going to be a pretty tight situation, and it looks like the vaccine couldn't have come at a better time, considering that it looks like cases are surging, including deaths, but deaths is a different story rather than cases. All right. So they can't hear you, Charlie. It's not picking up the desktop audio. All right, hold on. Let's do this. All right, well, that's not very, very pleasant.
Should I talk?
Yeah, talk a little bit.
All right, I'm talking.
All right, that should do it.
Oh yeah, let's go.
Okay, so I hope that fixed it. So, for anyone who's just now tuning in, or for anyone who's wondering, sorry for that technical difficulty. I'm still working on getting a headset, and AirPods are kind of garbage for streaming.
Yes.
But regardless, Charlie was just talking about how he was basically going to do the same thing I am, which is wait and see what the side effects are, and then see if he's going to take it or not. And that's kind of easy for us because I don't think we'll actually be able to get it for some time, considering that they're going to go for the high vulnerability groups first. So at that point, they're going to probably give it to them. And then, yeah, so they'll probably be giving it to them first, and then we'll be able to sit back and kind of just watch and see what happens with that. So yeah, that's probably all we gotta cover for COVID right now. Yeah, so
All right, they can barely hear me apparently.
they can barely hear you.
I think, yeah.
All right, here, hold on. All right, let's see if that does anything. All right, so.
Okay.
Yeah, so that pretty much wraps it up for COVID. So let's go ahead and move on to our next topic, which I bet will probably be a little bit bigger than COVID, considering a lot of students across the country are going to be partaking in such an event, and that's midterms. Yay!
Yeah.
Not really. So for me and Charlie, we're having our midterms this upcoming week.
Yep.
And in total, we'll be taking 5 midterms, 1 on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and 2 on Thursday. We got out of our language exam very recently, which is very nice. Just a little bit less work on just our backs, I guess.
Yeah,
then,
I know there's been a lot of people who were a little angry because they have a high A minus and we're hoping to bring it up to an A. But now they can't.
I'm sitting over here with a C trying to bring it up to a B. Yeah.
I personally am not angry because I had an A, but
Yeah, so there's that.
anyway.
So today I spent a lot of time making study guides and doing extra
Who's
credit
late?
work just to try and get that going and getting started on all that stuff pretty much today. So we actually have a final on Monday, which is going to be fun because I have the rest of today and tomorrow to study for it, and tomorrow's pretty booked up for me, but regardless, I think I'll be able to get it done.
We're starting off with theology, so it shouldn't be too hard.
Yeah, but regardless, it's a final, so
Yeah, true.
you never know. But for most students across America in middle school and in high school, one of the main reasons that they're taking finals is either to actually test their knowledge on the exam, or to prepare them for the future, and in which future exams are going to be in college and stuff like that. So, and the main deal is actually in college, because in college, what you're learning actually matters for the real world, because it could affect your job performance in reality. So there's that. And then yeah, so that's pretty much it for midterms.
Yeah.
It's gonna suck. But on our school's Discord server, our grade is actually coming together and kind of collaborating on a lot of Quizlets. So we're all making these ridiculously large Quizlets and putting them together in classes and on a Discord server, and kind of just giving everyone access to it because it helps and it's worth it and it'll help everybody out. And it feels good to do something nice for a change. especially when there's not much to do in the pandemic, or just sitting around at home.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Billy, what subject Quizlet?
Hmm?
You make a subject Quizlet.
Yes, I need to study my own subjects for the show.
What subject was it?
Oh goodness, I don't know. But regardless,
you don't even. Okay, never mind. Go ahead.
Regardless, this week is gonna be our final week of this semester. So it's gonna be a strange schedule. So on Monday we have a full day of school, and then Tuesday through Friday we have half days. And I think that's a lot better because at my previous school we would basically sit around for the second half of the day watching movies all day and being super counterproductive and not being able to get any work done. And I would always try and study. My parents would be like, just please, just study, just use your time wisely. And I'm like, I know, I'm trying, but when there's a movie playing, it's really hard to pay attention. And my viewers who also went to my last school will be able to agree with me. So I'm glad that my current school is actually letting us go home after we take our finals and study at home, because I feel like that's a much better environment to study in. So let's do a semester review. So this was Charlie and I's first semester in high school.
Yeah.
And for Charlie, seems to be going pretty well. Is that correct?
Yeah, personally for me, I guess so.
Yeah, so
I've gotten the best grade I've ever gotten so far, which is exciting.
Yeah, so for me, I've probably done the worst I've ever done in the United States schooling system. But regardless, I'm improving and it's getting better. But it's gonna be a long, painful road, and But I've met a lot of really awesome people at my new school, and we've been able to do some pretty interesting stuff. This past, I think it was yesterday. Was it yesterday when we did the class switch?
Oh yeah, we did. That was fun.
Yeah. So
you want to explain?
Do you want to explain it?
Oh sure, I will. Okay, so at our school, there's 2 different classrooms, and the entire grade is divided up into these 2 sides. And so for the last 2 periods, we tried to switch sides. And the classrooms look exactly the same, so we thought the teachers might not notice if we all sat in the right spots. But both the teachers noticed within the first 5 minutes, but it was still kind of funny.
Yeah, I remember our teacher came in, and we were supposed to have biology, and then we were having theology, and we were just kind of sitting there, just trying to act as natural as possible. But it was one of those moments when you're laughing. And you're trying to not, but you just can't stop laughing. And it's something really stupid like that. But regardless, that was what the case was. So I'm just sitting there. I'm doing pretty much nothing, and I'm just laughing because it's hilarious what we're doing. Well, that's what I thought anyway. Yeah. So I'm just sitting there just cracking up. And then our teacher walks in, and then he looks at one of our classmates, and then he just snaps and goes, "Get out," and just doesn't notice the rest of us. And then he looks at the rest of us and he's like, "Wait a second, hold on." And then he starts to realize that we're not in his class. And so then the guy that he told to get out is trying his utmost hardest to act natural. And so what he does is he gets up and then he goes, "Let me close the door for you." And I'll tell you what, it's not every day that you hear someone come up to you nobody comes up to you "Let me close the door. Hang on, bro. Let me close the door for you, okay? Let me close the door, please. Let me close it for you. I'm being super polite right now, okay? You just don't hear that every day."
It's a little
and and he was emphasizing ridiculously. He was like, "Guys, act natural, okay? Act natural. Come on, please, just act natural." And I'm like, "Why are you saying, 'Let me close the door for you'? That's one of the most unnatural things I think I may have ever heard." I'm not even kidding. It was ridiculous, but it was hilarious because, before that, another one of our students, or another one of our students, another one of our classmates comes in from our side, and then he just like comes in. And we're trying to convince our teacher that we're like in the right class. Then he just comes in. He just like opens the door. He's just like, "Hey guys, I couldn't get all my stuff in time." And then we're all like, "Bro, just shh, be quiet, please." Shh, shh. You know, like just in the most nice way possible, but at the same time, like just shh, be quiet, please, just please. Like we were just like begging him, like, please be quiet, it'll be funny. And then at that point, we were like trying super hard to convince him. And then one of the students from the other side comes in and he's like, "Hey, we have to switch sides." We were like, "Oh, man."
I know, yeah.
Yeah, and we were all switching sides, and the teachers were surprisingly fine with it. And what surprised me most is at my last school, the teachers there, if we did anything like remotely similar to that, would not be having it. They'd be like, all
Really?
up in, like we'd be taking severe like disciplinary measures, and like they'd be all up in us, and like there'd be a lot of disciplinary measures that have been taken. But
Are you serious?
At the new school, they didn't care. They just kind of like chuckled, and they were like, "All right, guys, sit down. Let's have class." And I was like, "This is amazing!"
Mm-hmm.
Like I was just so surprised, and I was like, "This is crazy. I didn't like expect this at all." And like I was just super excited about that because they weren't mad and they just didn't really care that much. But at the same time, if you're gonna do school pranks, don't take it over the top because then it doesn't do well. So yeah, I think we can bounce back over to the midterms topic and talk about how some people aren't having them this year altogether.
Oh, yeah, we could, yeah.
Yeah. So do you know any schools who just like any high schools who aren't having them?
Jesuit, I don't think is
Mhm.
like. Can I say the names? Again,
Well, it's kind of too late now.
I mean, should I say more or not?
Nah.
No. Okay. Well, there's one school, and then there's this other one, and there's this third one that I know that's not taking finals.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
actually heard it. I actually heard from one of my old friends who's in a lower grade than I am that my previous school is not doing midterms or finals or any of that altogether. I was at a meeting for Boy Scouts a couple weeks back, and I said, "Hey, are y'all taking finals?" And he goes, "Oh no." I'm like, "What?" I was just in shock. I was like, "Are you serious?" I was not having it. I was just like, "Really? You guys are not having finals?" And then when I thought about it a little bit more, last year they did this thing for the 8th grade where they basically let us have an 8th grade privilege, which is basically where we could come up with an idea and then present it to our principal, and if she liked it enough, then she'd be like, "Oh yeah, sure, you guys can have a courtyard or have your phones out at lunch or do this or do that," and blah 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 blah. And so one of the groups, you were in like groups of 3, and our group couldn't come up with anything. So what we did is we were like, we just want to get rid of hair restrictions. Like, just have whatever haircut you want, grow it out super long, whatever it is. We don't just that. And looking back on it, I'm like, I was dumb. That was really dumb. And I just don't understand how we got to that. And we had so many other good ideas. We were like running them by like our monitor for that class. We were like, "Hey, what do you think of this?" And he's like, "Oh, that's not gonna happen." I'm like, "Okay then, let's keep brainstorming then." So we keep like filing through these ideas, and we finally settled on this. And it was super hard because none of us really cared that much because none of us wanted to grow our hair out super long. Yeah, so that's what happened. But our one of the other groups actually petitioned to have the option for exemptions from midterms, which is basically if you have a good enough grade, you don't have to take it. And
Yes.
yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing because guess what? Like 2 weeks after the presentation, we were in that same class, and then our monitor walks in and he's like, "Guys, I have an announcement. The exemptions for midterms group has been approved." And everyone just got super hyped. We were so excited to like have the opportunity, just the opportunity, to not have to take finals for the first semester, because it was ridiculous. It was like we might actually get to relive like our fourth grade where we don't have to take midterms. And
I know. It was so nice.
for me, I was a really good student at that school, and I was like trying super hard to get all A's, and I got like two B's, so I had to take some finals, but it's better than all six because there were six, and reading and English were two different classes, which is just dumb. But regardless, I got to get off some finals, which is good. Um, but in the end, it didn't really matter because I don't know, we had to take final exams anyway. So is there any like form of exemptions at our school, Charlie?
No, there's not.
No, so there's none at all. Yeah.
Not at all.
And you've been there since what, fifth grade?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
when it starts.
Yeah. So you've taken finals there, first and second semester pretty much forever.
Yeah, 8 times.
Yeah. So
Eight miserable times, Billy. They were terrible.
I can't wait for my 8 miserable times. First one's coming up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah. Exemptions are a good thing. And they offered them for eighth grade, for final exams last year. But COVID happened and we all got out of school. And I actually remember the day when our school went into lockdown or just shut down completely. It was kind of just like I woke up and I did a zero period, so I had to get to school at like 6:50 in the morning. And it was good for me because like it helped me wake up earlier and manage my time wisely in the morning. And now I just wake up even earlier than I did to go to zero period pretty much every day anyways. And I remember it was like on Mondays and Wednesdays, and so I wake up on Wednesday very leisurely, which doesn't happen with me. And I wake up and then I notice that it's like sunny in the morning, and 9 times out of 10 it's almost always dark outside because I wake up super late, or super late, super early, and it's light outside, and I'm like, yo.
I was gonna say, if you're waking up so late that it's dark, that's probably
Yeah,
not good.
yeah. And I'm
Anyway.
like, yo, this is trippy. And I look at my watch and it says like 9:30, and I can hear my mom talking to my sister in the room next to me. And I get up and I like speed walk, and my mom's like, "Don't panic, don't panic, don't panic." I'm like, okay. And she's like, "Yeah, so somebody's mom may have been exposed, so they just shut it down. And now it's like if your mom gets exposed, just don't come to school. Not like, oh my gosh, they might have been exposed. Shut it down, shut it down, shut it down now." And I was like back then I was like, yeah, this is pretty serious. And now I'm like, that's it? You know? Like, do you agree
I saw
with
this
that?
funny.
Do you
What?
agree with that, Charlie?
Yeah, no, for sure. I saw this
Yeah.
thing on Instagram. It was like 7 or like 1,000 cases, everyone panics, but then like 7 million cases and no one cares.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Anyway,
I actually remember I saw a picture from a couple of people from our grade last year who, when they were getting out early, it was the week before spring break, they were getting out early, and they posted a picture of them on their Snapchat story, and it was captioned something along the lines of, like, early spring break, thanks COVID, hashtag blessed, and I was like,
yeah, yes.
I was like,
Oh, that did
if
not age
only
well.
they
That's for sure.
knew, if only they knew. Yeah, so, yeah, and I was pretty hype about it too, because we didn't start online learning until like 3 weeks after we actually got out of spring break, or got out initially. And I'll tell you what, online learning last year was basically just do your work and turn it in, and yay, and then that's it. It was really boring. But it'd kind of be the stuff where if your teachers were nice, they would give you all your work on Monday, and then you could pretty much finish all your work like on Monday, and then just be done for the rest of the week, which would be
Oh, that's nice.
yeah, it'd be amazing.
I know.
And then-
At subscription last year, we went out online like a week before spring break was supposed to start,
Mm-hmm.
and we were supposed to be doing these Latin presentations, right?
Yeah.
And so everyone had to present in Zoom. And so in Zoom, you have this annotate function that no one knew how to
Yes,
turn
I
off.
love that function so much, dude.
And it was anonymous, right? So
Oh, okay.
the first presentation, we were all in a Discord call, right?
Yeah.
And this person starts going. And then one person who I will leave nameless says, "Oh my gosh, guys, we can annotate." And everyone starts freaking out. And then all at once, everyone starts annotating on this thing and no one can see what it's what's written.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah,
was
I've
so
had
funny.
some funny experiences with that feature. But I think the best one, I was in a Boy Scout merit badge class over Zoom.
Oh
And
no.
yeah, and it had like over like 75 scouts in there from various troops. But it was ridiculous because there were just so many people there. And like this, I'm almost 1,000% sure that this lady who was leading the class had no idea how to use Zoom or had never used Zoom before, because the first meeting was absolute chaos. Like like people were talking, people were screaming into their mics, people were taking the annotate tool and scribbling all over the screen, and
Oh
they'd be
no.
like taking their mic, just be like, "Ugh!" or just like do something super obnoxious. And it was hilarious. Like I was super tempted to just like do something. And then at one point somebody's mom actually like came in and she was like super mad. She was like, "You guys need to calm down. You guys need I'm paying for this. I'm trying to get my son to get this merit badge." And if I'm being completely honest, it was super obnoxious because personally I didn't want to be there, and them just, using the annotate tool and being obnoxious was just prolonging my time in that meeting. And it was
Yeah.
funny. I'll say it was funny, right? But at
Yeah.
the same time, it was just, it was kind of wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah, no,
Um,
I also have Zoom shenanigan experiences with Boy
yeah,
Scouts.
yeah. You have any good ones?
Anyway, I mean, not really. We have a bunch of like little kids in our troop,
Oh, okay.
like quote unquote like fifth graders, and
Uh-huh.
so yeah, they screwed around a lot. But
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah, yeah. So there's that. And then so we use Teams this year, which is a much more organized version of Zoom, basically. And then there's like separate denominations that you can join for like your separate classes. So like you'll have a math one, you'll have a science one, you'll have a social studies one, or whatever denomination of class you have. And then you'll like have meetings in there. You'll have online tests and assignments and all that good stuff. And so there's actually so our one of our tech people at our school had turned on basically admin permissions for pretty much everybody that had Teams. So if you had Teams and you were part of any or if you were using our school's email, you would have pretty much admin perms on Teams. So you'd be able to mute people. You'd be able to like put people on the spotlight, which is basically where everyone sees your screen pinned, and then you'd also be able to like remove people from the meeting and do stuff like that. So um, one person was like, we didn't really do anything with it. I don't think there even was an annotate feature, but it would have been hilarious if there was.
yeah,
Um, but one person from our class kept on removing the exact same person from the class, and I'm not gonna
it
name
happened
either of
over
them.
and over again.
Yeah, it was happening over and over and over again. Every single class, all day long. And at the end of the day, somebody messaged our tech person, and they were like, "Hey, yeah, so you gave us like admin perms or something along the lines of that." And they were like, "Yeah, so people have been like kicking people from the meetings, muting people, putting people in the spotlight, etc., etc." And I'm like, I found it kind of funny, but at the same time, I don't know.
I know
So
the person who it was happening to didn't really understand. They thought they were having Wi-Fi problems,
yeah, yeah. I thought it was kind of
which
funny because
yeah,
he'd be talking, he'd be like, "Somebody keeps removing me from the meet," and then he'd be gone.
yeah,
Yeah. And then at one point, it was like third or fourth period, and for us, we have 6 classes a day, and then lunch, and then we're done at 2:45, and that goes for in person and online. For the newer version of online, for online at the beginning of the school year, it was just basically we were done at like 1:50, which was just amazing. So there was that, and oh gosh, I lost my train of thought completely. But yeah, we were
You
all
said
like
something about
figuring
fourth
out.
period.
Hmm.
You said something about like by fourth period.
Oh yeah, by fourth period we were in our biology class, and he like was telling our teacher, she's like, "Hey, I'm getting kicked from the meeting. I don't know what to do. I'm like, if I'm having Wi-Fi problems," and then he just gets kicked again like 5 seconds after that, and then I just like am feeling so bad for him, and I'm like, who is doing this? Who is doing this? Who is freaking kicking this guy from the meeting? And then like after he got kicked, like 12 minutes into the class, he just didn't try and he didn't even rejoin, and I was like,
Oh
oh
yeah,
no, that's not good.
he stopped trying.
Yeah, I went into our Discord server, and then there were people who were like, oh my gosh, you guys, he didn't rejoin. Oh no, we might have like screwed up his computer. No, I'm just kidding. That'd be hilarious though if we did that, but at the same time we'd also be in trouble and it wouldn't be as funny anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that. So real quick, I want to go ahead and give a quick announcement. Next week is going to be a special Christmas themed episode. So be sure to tune in next week, Saturday at 8. I know I messed up the outro last episode. Some people brought that to my attention. So Charlie, is there anything specific you want to talk about?
Uh, I mean, if we're running out of time, we don't have to. But just like about
Yeah, no, we got plenty of
what's
time.
new about high school. I mean, you want to talk about what's new with high school?
Yeah, actually.
I know you're at a new school, so how's that been?
So it's a new school, and both of my brothers have gone there for some time, and they've been telling me, they've been like, come on, bro, just come on, just do it, just come to the school. And in middle school at my previous school, everybody's like, bro, don't go there, come with us, be friends, like be a good friend. And I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. And I decided that I didn't really care. One, I mean, I'm still friends with a lot of those guys, they're all awesome. But at the same time, I kind of thought to myself, I just got to do like what's best for me, what'll help me the most in the future. So I'm gonna go to this new school, and so that's what I ended up doing. So I'm going to this new school, and I got there, and after the first quarter, I had a 2.63 as my GPA, and obviously that's nowhere near what I actually want my GPA to be. So this isn't good, right? So it was just woke me up, and I was like, whoa, this is hard, okay? This is hard, dude. Like, it was really hard. It was like a slap in the face to me. That's the metaphor I've been using. But it just woke me up, and it was like, hey, wake up. This is the real world, man. And I was just like not ready for it, because like I was just getting these not very good grades, and I was like, whoa, this is like this is real. Okay, I need to like actually work at this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been getting better, but it's still very hard, and yeah. So I've been having to kick it into overdrive. Late nights and early mornings are probably going to be my new motto that I'm going to live by, because that's what's going on. But Charlie seems to be doing great. You wanna elaborate on that?
Yeah, no, high school, I think a slap in the face is a good analogy. I think that going to our school from 5th grade has helped a lot.
Yeah.
I'm less
Yeah.
surprised, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But also, like, now that we're in high school, athletics are after school rather than during school. So I'm at school for like 2 or 3 extra hours now.
Yeah.
And so I get home later and have to start homework much later.
Yeah.
So I'd say that's like the biggest challenge now. But I mean, yeah, it's mostly just like consistency and not getting distracted.
Yeah, that's a big thing when it comes to high school homework, is not getting distracted.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a couple weeks ago, I was actually I had just gotten home from the gym, and for people who don't know, watching the stream right now, I'm a gymnast. and I spend a lot of time at the gym, like at least 3 hours pretty much at the gym when I do go, and then I also have a job there, so that's a different story. So I'm there almost every day of the week. So I got home and I had like gotten dinner. I had gotten ready to go get started on my work, and it was like 8 o'clock. And I try and get to bed at least before 11 or at like 11:30 at the latest, because I normally wake up early in the morning to do more work. And so I was in a Discord call just kind of chatting with a couple of guys, and they were all like streaming video games on Discord, and they were like, "Yeah, what do you think of this thing?" And I was like, "Oh, it's pretty cool." All right, well, I'm gonna go and get started on my math homework. And they're like, "You should have done that a couple of hours ago." And I was like, "Yeah, I have a job and was at practice." And they're like, "Oh, okay. Good night." And I was like, "Okay, bye." I was just like, "Oh man, I'm gonna be up late again. I'm gonna have to wake up early tomorrow." And yeah, so it's been rough, but I've been able to push through. Um, and I think my grades are improving, which is good for me.
Yeah, that is good.
God is good.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, so I think that's gonna wrap it up for about there. So I'm gonna do that because it looks cool. So I think that's gonna wrap it up for that episode. So real quick, Charlie, if you want to plug anything, if you want to plug an Instagram or any of that, you can go ahead and do that.
No, it's okay.
You all right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and say something real quick. So I'm actually in need of some future guests and topics, and if you do actually come on the show, or your topic is chosen, you will actually get a plug, or if you want one, you can have one. Um, so yeah, if you want, you can text me. Well, not actually text me, but you can message me on Instagram or on Snapchat. So you can message me on Instagram at Gilly4926. That's GILLY4926. No capital letters and no spaces. Same on Instagram and on Snapchat. And real quick, I just wanted to say that next week we'll be having a Christmas special episode. And that's going to be same time next week, so Saturday at 8. So keep it tuned right here. Saturdays at 8. Got it right this time. We'll be back next week for a Christmas special.
Oh,
thank you guys
Billy.
so much for watching, and good night.
Billy, one last plug.
Okay, fine.
Guys, join my Clash of Clans clan at CPS 2024 Hawks.
All right.
All caps.
So that's going to wrap it up right there. Thank you guys so much for watching, and good night.